Hello, and welcome back to the Wheel Talk podcast. My name is Abby Mickey, and I am here with friends to talk about women's professional road cycling. Today, we're going to talk about some of the biggest news hits since we've been off the round table and have a really fun little holiday bonus half an episode for everybody at the end. So, with me today, Lauren Rowney.
G'day, everyone. It's good to be back with the awesome foursome.
Gracie Elvin.
Hello, everybody. It feels like years since we've been together. I feel like I don't have any rhythm, but I'm pretty excited to be here.
Georgie Howe.
I'm red-eyed, frizzy-haired, and ready to go. So, let's do it.
That doesn't sound good.
And bushy-browed.
For the listeners, I got my eyebrows done just before this podcast, just for these three ladies, and they are quite dramatic.
Actually, you are looking really good right now, Georgie. Like the hair swoop, the brows.
I'm red. Can you see my red eyes? I'm so tired.
They're not all the way open. They're like 80% of the way open.
You look glowy.
Thank you. But I told my friends to tune in because I said tonight I could be unhinged based on my mood. So
Excellent. After
amazing.
listening to us for 1 hour, I'd be unhinged
talk about
too.
kids and beavers and I back up
everyone.
and I was just like, this is all ahead of me.
You'll appreciate it someday, hopefully.
You can kind of tell that Georgie, every time we have a bit of a pre-record chat, she's always like, what have I gotten myself into?
She just tunes out. Like, you just see her mind wandering. Her eyes go a little bit crooked. Like, she's like not paying attention to what's happening. Just waiting for like one word to be dropped that she'll be like, oh, okay, now I can relate again.
Look, it's been like too long. This is what happens when we're apart for 2 months, I guess?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It was a lot of offloading.
How long is that in a trimester? I haven't learned that yet.
Well, today we're going to talk about some of the biggest things that we missed while we were doing the interviews during the off season. Give us a little bit of a break, and hopefully everybody enjoyed those. I know I enjoyed kind of getting back into the swing of the interviews. And still a couple lined up for the start of next year as we ease ourselves back into racing. But we're going to talk about some of the biggest transfers, that Lotte Kopecky interview, World Tour teams, the Giro route was announced. But what we're really excited for is the second half of this episode is going to be kind of like a giant obsessions. But we got a question from one of our mailbag episodes a couple months ago from Lee Mango, one of our favorite members, to give us top 5 to 10 songs that would make our Zwift playlist. And so we are going to build you a Wheel Talk Zwift playlist. Drum roll. Anyway, so that's going to be our holiday episode, is building a Zwift playlist. But before we get into that, there's been a lot of little news items that we didn't get to cover with our break from recording. Starting with some of the bigger transfers that happened late in the transfer market. And I think for me, one of the most exciting transfers that this year saw is Ninka Vinka breaking contract early from Picnic Post-Nel to sign for SD Worx Pro Time.
Huge move.
Massive.
Yeah. Like, she's been on the radar big time this year in 2025. But it's both a year of like mass exodus from Picnic Post-Nel, and I think SD Worx are like they're really taking their signing seriously because they're not the top dog anymore, so they got to reinforce their ranks.
Yeah, for me, I saw this as like SD Worx Pro Time thinking more about their future in terms of a GC rider, because obviously like next year they're going to lean on Anna van der Breggen, and slight spoiler, they're one of my pieces coming out this week or next week around the holiday season is about my predictions for the 2026 season. And one of my predictions is that Anna van der Breggen is going to win the Giro. And I really think like next year is going to be the Lindsey Vonn year for Anna van der Breggen. She's going to be on the top again next year. I think we saw it at the end of this season, and she's only going to get better next year now that she's kind of figured out the way that it works in this new era of women's cycling since she stepped away for a couple years. But she's still of an age where they need to be thinking about the future of the team. And I think signing Ninka Vinka is them trying to scout someone who would have been Demi Vollering had she stayed with the team. They need someone to be studying under Anna van der Breggen while she's winning next year, to take the reins of the team when Anna van der Breggen does again step away eventually in a couple of years, when she's ready.
What are your thoughts on, like, I mean, you think about like the leaders of SD Worx, and the leaders of the past, like, what, 3 years have been like they've been like formed within SD Worx, you know, like they haven't been outsiders, like they haven't been like a top rider from another team coming in and then being a top rider at SD Worx. Like they've grown up through the ranks. Yeah, I just wonder if like this is SD Worx like recognizing that that's their model, that they grow their GC riders through the ranks. Like they don't recruit from external for their top riders. They promote from within. And yeah, I just I see this as like part of that. But will SD Worx ever try to attract a top rider? Like, say if Anna leaves and they've got that glaring gap and Ninka's not quite there yet, do they then think, oh shit, Elisa's looking pretty good, why don't we entice her over?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, because they did once sign a big name and it did not go well when they picked up Ashley Moolman-Pasio to be on the team. And I know that they have had interest in signing like Kasia Niewiadoma in the past, but it's never really followed through. And I think part of it is that they always have those big leaders already on the team that have grown up with the program, and in developing within the team, they will have more pull than a big rider coming in, no matter how big the name is. So big names are looking at the team with the riders like when it was Demi Vollering, who really like progressed within the team and had a lot of pull. They're looking at that and they're like, well, I'm going to come in and I might be on par or a better rider, but I still don't have the history with the team that this person does. So I think because of that, I think they have interest in signing a big name, but I think big names haven't signed with them because they know that they will, in the pecking order, because the team has been so solid for so many years, it would not be as easy as going to another team where there's more turnover.
I think it's a cultural thing too. Like they did bring over Lotte Kopecky when she was already starting to win those big races. Like I think she'd already won Tour of Flanders before she'd come over to SD Worx. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that when she did sign to SD Worx, we were like, oh, I wonder how that's going to go. But I think culturally she did fit into that team and she found that specific gap for her skill set too. So I think it's a mix between what characteristics that rider has and what kind of personality or cultural values that they also have that align with the team. But I think in general, you guys are right in that they do like to develop their riders through. They're really good at picking that top climbing and GC talent.
I would say Picnic Post-Anel used to be that team as well. They'd like to get them young, develop them through and try and hold on to them. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But now what we've seen with this mass exodus is I think they've done the same thing they've done before. If you ever look at their lineup, it's a very young lineup. But at the same time, they were looking to just get anyone they could to sign on. Now we know, since the World Tour licenses have been handed out, that the rumors are confirmed that there is a bit of financial turmoil happening within the whole industry, but it's not looking so good for them moving beyond 26 as a World Tour team. And it will be interesting to see whether they decide to pull the money towards the men's or the women's team, because we've seen that before where teams, if we think of Rally, decided to go big and have a World Tour team for the women and cut the men's team. So I'm really curious to see how the future of that team develops. And I guess that's part of the reason as well some of these riders were leaving, was just knowing maybe internally that, you know, they would drop down to Pro Tour.
That brings up two of our other bullet points that we wanted to talk about before we get into the fun part of the episode. Is Lotte Kopecky and also the World Tour list for 2026. The UCI awarded 14 teams World Tour licenses. It's the ones that we would have expected. All the ones that we knew would get World Tour licenses, plus EF Education only, who were well within the promotion top 15 teams. The surprises were what Lauren just mentioned. Picnic Post and L were only given a 1-year license when normally it's a 3-year license. So they're like basically on probation, I feel like, for 1 year to see how it goes financially. But there had been so many rumors before the World Tour licenses were awarded about Picnic Post and L's status as a team and security. And I think we knew that there was something going on because of all the riders leaving the team. And now it's kind of confirmed that there is something going on behind the scenes within the team, that they only have 1 year to prove that they can financially back a team for another 2 years in the World Tour. And then Roland lost their World Tour license and will apparently be dropping down to Conti, although there's some question marks there. But it also means that the other teams that applied for World Tour licenses were denied them, which was Cofidis was denied a World Tour license, and I think that's the only one, because I know like Volca Vessels didn't apply for a World Tour license. They're happy at Pro Team. And same with Laboral, Kucha, Euskadi, Fundación.
Yeah, I think that team's going to be the underdog team that we'll be talking about a lot next year, though.
I think so too. I mean, Saint Michel, Preference Home, Aubert 93. They picked up a lot of talent over the off season, and they're a team that is obviously French, so they're very interested in how the future is going to go for French cycling, with the Tour de France Primobec Swift kind of making waves in cycling, which we've talked about a lot. But they obviously, like, the biggest signing is Allison Jackson from EF Education, Oatly. But they also have like a lot of other talent on the team. Simone Boyard from Uno X Mobility, she's a really talented rider. So one to keep an eye on. And I think like this year we were Laboral, Kucha, Fundación, Euskadi for me was one of the like breakthrough teams. And I'm curious to see how their second year in the pro team goes. 4 of the pro teams are French. Cofidis, Ma Petite Enterprise, which is one of the new teams, Mayen Motabana, MyPy, which is also new-ish. They were WinSpace before, but now under a totally new name, new sponsors and everything. So I don't know what that means for the future of the team, but worth watching that one as well. And then Saint Michel.
I think it's the Pauline effect on this one. French have gone cycling mad.
Well, Pauline and just the tour in general. The tour being in France has dramatically impacted French cycling, which, yeah, we'll see how that goes in the future. Will be really interesting with like what we were talking about with Natasha, Lauren, about the Dutch kind of being behind at this point with developing the future of the sport, and the French, look at them.
Well, it's quite shocking to think that one of the strongest nations in the world for cycling doesn't even have a registered continental team. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is really wild. Just a couple other things that we wanted to mention. Lotte Kopecky did an interview where she opened up a bit about her 2025 season. And she'd already mentioned earlier in the year that a knee injury had kept her from training properly for the spring classics, but she was a lot more forthcoming about like how bad that knee injury, how much impact that knee injury had on her training on her spring classics, but also a lot of other aspects of training, including the pressure, the GC tour pressure that impacted her season dramatically, and like how it will impact her future going forward. That I think, yeah, Georgie, you wanted to talk a bit about this one.
Yeah, I think it's a classic. I don't want to diagnose anyone without having like the right materials in front of me, but there's certainly a element of Lotte's story that I can see from my own story, and we've seen other riders go through this as well, with like Veronica Ewers, who has just come out talking about her experience with relative energy deficiency in sport. I think it's a easy pit for riders to fall into unknowingly. Like, I don't think Lotta would have done this knowingly. I think she wanted to be a GC rider, and she just found her body probably couldn't hack it. It's a really hard thing to do, to mold yourself into what the conventional body of a GC rider should look like. It's not to say that it can't be done, but I think if you go down what's quote unquote the proper way, it can be pretty dangerous for someone whose body just doesn't flex that way. So I think a lot of probably found that out. I don't know for certain, but it does sound like Reds. And I hope she's caught it early and she can rebound quickly.
I have a little bit of a theory as well, maybe why Lotta decided to go down this pathway. The fact that Lorena Wiebes is her biggest competition within the team.
Mm.
And the races that Lotta generally excels at, if Lorena is there, the team tactic is we go for Lorena. And Lorena is always there now, isn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, she's kind of playing the role that Lotta played in those punchy races. Like,
exactly.
Wiebes is climbing phenomenally well. And so, I guess Lotta's trying to figure out where she fits in that story now. But I think she can be pretty certain that she's not, that Wiebes isn't going to be there at the finish of Flanders. So it's like there are races that Kopecky can take.
Can she be certain though?
Well, you can't really be certain, but like if it...
Not anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's Flanders. Anything can happen. Sorry, Mark.
Yeah.
But my point, I think then it's up to, if we talk about the culturally, I mean, we've talked about SD Worx and their culture forever. We could talk about it even more, but we've already talked about it this episode. But I think it's up to the team management to actually dictate what areas each rider excels at. And so it's like, okay, we've got Lotta. She's an incredible talent over this kind of terrain. Let's make her really, really good in that. We've got Wiebes. She's unbeatable over this type of terrain. Maybe she could go on this type of terrain, but we know Lotta can win there. So why would we put Wiebes in there? Let's really make sure that she's got monopoly over this type of terrain. And then we can have both without putting so much strain on the rider, because it's also irresponsible to put a rider as the top dog and spread them too thin.
Yeah. Well, maybe this is just a bit of fallout from having Demi leaving the team. I guess, it's hard to carve that niche out for yourself in that team. But if you left that team, you have to beat those other riders too. So like the better option potentially is to stay and make sure, like you said, Georgie, there is good management there where you know what races you're targeting from the get-go. So you focus on those, you focus on your shape. I hate that word actually. You focus on your form and your health.
I hate that word too. Why do we use it?
I don't like how they say they're in good shape. It's weird, but it's common, so hence I use
That's a Euro thing, right?
So Euro,
yeah.
yeah.
It sounds like you're a racehorse. I don't like it.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
like I think that SD Worx seems to do that well, but maybe there's just that feeling of threat there that still kind of then dictates how some of these riders go about their business, especially Lotta, who's been self-managed in almost all aspects of her career in recent years. So I think getting help is a really smart thing for her.
Yeah, I mean, she's been self-coached. Like, that is also a slippery slope. And it's really easy to like look at the sport and where it's going and be like, I mean, we talked about it with Pauline and the way she won up Col de la Madeleine. It's like she lost weight to win that race, which is in her remit, but she had a huge support team around her. But even the best in the world, Lotte Kopecky, could look to that and be like, maybe that's my path, and go down it. So it's because, oh goodness, Pauline won Roubaix and she won the Tour de France. Why can't I do that? So yeah, unless you've got that robust support, you could be Lotte Kopecky and still fall afoul to that kind of dream.
And yeah, you mentioned Veronica Ewers, and just like shout out to her, because the piece that she wrote on her Substack was devastating. And I think for a lot of people who have been in the sport, it would have resonated in some way, because a lot of us are sports people from a very young age, even if it's not cycling. So there was a lot of that I think, yeah, people would have understood, or not understood, but felt deeply for her. And she's just such an awesome person. So just wishing the very best for Veronica. And it takes a lot to be that open about something so personal. But I think it's important that perspective is out in the world for younger riders and young people who want to be athletes. So I'm also really grateful that she felt like she could be so honest with everything that she's been going through. And I think also, like, I mean, Georgia, you and I were working on this big Reds piece that hopefully will get written someday.
At some point.
At some point. But it's really interesting to me looking at what Veronica has been through, and that she, you know, she was trying to go through the recovery of everything that she'd put her body through for so long, and still expected to perform in the sport, which is really, really fucked up.
You can't do it. Like,
No.
your body needs rest. You were literally having to reassure your body biologically that it is not under stress. Training 30 hours a week and trying to race is not going to allow your body to do that.
Stressful.
Yeah, that's stressful. I have more gray hairs from my time in cycling.
We do. Never mind. Anyway, yeah. So just a really interesting one, and for watching Kopecky's season next year and what she'll be focusing on instead of going for the tour. She was in the interview, she never ruled out the tour 100%, but I don't think that is something that we will see from her anytime soon. For now, I think her and us all want to see the Kopecky who was so fun to watch at like Glasgow Worlds and stuff. So hopefully she can find it again. And I think if anyone can, she can. But it is also like an interesting study in putting your body through as much as she would have to try to target something like the tour. And if she can come back, because I've kind of been like thinking about all of the riders. Like, yeah, we said we're not sure if it is Reds for Kopecky, but like for riders like Veronica who have been open about the fact that they've been tackling this, who has been able to like come back, like who has been able to like successfully come back into the sport. I think like the number one thing that's most important is just to be healthy again, and sport shouldn't matter anymore at that point, because your health should come first. But of course, like we all, I think all four of us, if we got a chance to be back in the peloton again, we would all take it, you know? Like a sports person is always going to want to do their sport, even if they've retired, even if they're happy. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Does that make sense?
I don't know if I would want to be back.
No.
Gracie and I are both like, put us in.
No, if I could do it all again, I would have been a mountain biker.
They're way cooler. They're like so much cooler.
They are
than
cool.
us.
I think, but back to your point, Abby, about like, has anyone like bounced back? I think it's too early to tell, because I think we're still understanding what Reds is. And I think from a management perspective, they're still understanding how to best handle when their rider that they're managed has Reds, and what the path back looks like. Like, I don't know I don't know what Veronica's case was, but the team should have rested her completely and given her time completely off and not allowed her to race. And like, you know, it's kind of, I guess, yeah, you just go hard, you go early, you get it over with, and then you come back.
I don't want to drag it out too much, but I think that's sometimes the challenge of our sport. And I'm just thinking with other sports, there's probably examples of women, men who have had Red S and come back. In athletic, I think the performances speak for themselves. So if you have to take a couple of years out and you come back and you do trials the 1 year, you do trials the next year, and then you make your way back. Same with triathlon. That's a way back into the system, because it's purely based on performances and time and all those things. But with cycling, and I can speak from experience with one athlete I know, is you just have a few bad years. And if you were, let's say, mid-pack to begin with, just because you were developing as an athlete, I think that's where the challenge lies, is for teams to then take a gamble on you again, because you become irrelevant so quickly now. That's just my feeling with it. And maybe that's part of the reason some athletes don't bounce back.
It's Homeric. We are only as good as our last battle, and memories are short.
Well, Marianne Vos is a good example of someone that did come back from it. She never really, it wasn't called that back then because it was quite a while ago now, but it wasn't super public, but it was public enough that she did struggle there for a number of years with her health and her weight, and she did come back from that. But every person is different. Every athlete's different. Everyone's got different red lines, for lack of a better word, of where you can kind of push your body to, or what kind of abuse it can sustain for how long, in some ways. And I guess this better monitoring of athletes' health. So even if it's not going to be the same, but similar to how we do baseline for concussion testing. Like if we have baseline data for our athletes, or at least we're tracking them over time properly, I think that's getting done a little bit, half done sometimes. Maybe some teams are doing it a bit better than others. We can still do better, I think, on the whole, so we can see trends in individuals rather than, say, Veronica Ewers, for example, her set point of some factors of her body, her bone health, her hormonal health, other markers in her blood, that's going to be different to someone like me. And it's just tracking what's your normal over time. And I think that is going to be important for teams to really implement better.
And on that point, Gracie, I think it has to start really young, before these issues. If we use Veronica as an example, she's been suffering for, I think, a decade. So if she come into the cycling team, a bit later, I think it was, 2020, her baseline when she came in wouldn't have been a healthy baseline to even begin with.
Yeah, and that's a tough one, isn't it? When she's come into the sport and she's already been struggling. Yeah, my heart goes out to her. There was lots of parts of her story that I could relate to, and I know a lot of people can relate to, unfortunately. So brave to share that story, and especially some of those tougher parts of it. So yeah, look, it's never going to be perfect in how we manage this, but the more we keep talking about it, and Georgie, you've been really awesome with being really public about this stuff too, the more avenues people have to keep having this information repeated in safe spaces, but also with professional education for teams, for team managers, for team coaches, as well as the athletes, to have all those people in the room. It's not just the onus on the athlete. That's where we're going to see some change of where the needle sits on the dial.
And I know the Cyclist Alliance are actively working on a way to track this. All right. Finally, before we move into our playlist selections, we wanted to give a mention to Paige Greco, who passed away on November 16th, Australian Paralympic gold medalist, and by all accounts, just incredible human being. I know, we're majority Australian podcast, so it would have been felt deeply by the Paralympic community, the track community, and 3/4 of this podcast as well, and everyone who knew her family. So we just wanted to give our love to her friends and family. And
I think we don't talk much about paracycling on this podcast because that's not where we're experts, but whenever something really impressive happens, we do try and mention it. But Paige was definitely a very important member of the paracycling community, particularly in Australia. And that community is definitely part of the cycling community globally, and they play such an important part in inspiring people to get on bikes. So she was one of those people, and yeah, we are really sad to hear of her loss. And as you said, Abby, our thoughts are with her family and friends, and yeah, she sounded like a very well-loved member of the community.
All right, we're going to build the Wheel Talk playlist, one song at a time. We've each selected 5 songs to be part of a playlist, and I originally pitched for 8, but was shot down by Gracie, and I had a hard time narrowing it down to 5, but we're going to go round circle and name our 5 songs that we would put on a playlist. I'll start, and it will come to 0 people's surprise. that the artist that I listen to most on the bike is Taylor Swift. And I had a particularly hard time with picking 5 songs because I'm an album girly. For those who don't know, I have a whole other podcast about albums. I don't really listen to playlists. So for me, like, I pick an album and I listen to an album when I ride. But if I had to pick a song that is a good ride song and is Taylor Swift, my most listened to artist. Oh, how you don't say. I would say Bad Blood featuring Kendrick Lamar off of 1989 is probably one of my top ride songs. Like, listen to that on repeat on the bike. It's tough because you want to pick like an upbeat song because you want to be feeling it on the bike, you know, like you want to be vibing.
Is this for ride? Like we're doing all ride songs?
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
I got it wrong. So
Yeah.
I don't know why. I was just like, I've got to think of songs that like, because the stuff I listen to on Zwift now it's going to be chaos when I drop my suggestions.
Great.
I was like, think more like Georgie and Abby, and I was like, okay,
No,
I think they
you
would
have to
like
be thinking you.
Yeah.
Okay, because the songs I picked, let me just say, I would not listen to on Zwift. I listen to when I'm working, when I'm hanging out with the kids. Doesn't get the blood flowing.
Do
Now
Re
you're
Mi
gonna
from
get
the
a
Sound
bit
of
of my
Music
taste.
soundtrack.
What?
It's like, when you're hanging out with the kids.
The Sound of Music?
When I'm hanging out with my daughter, the only thing she wants to listen to on repeat is Do Re Mi from the Sound of Music.
I mean, I have not introduced them to that soundtrack for that reason.
My God. I mean, it was I had to start saying no because it infiltrated my Apple Replay.
Okay.
And I was like, we can't have this. I need an accurate portrayal of my top listens for the year. You can't have your Do Re Mi in here. It's not okay.
I have introduced my kids to some of my terrible music and they have picked it up and they love it.
God, my kid. Well, actually, Audia will listen to anything. She's a dancer. I put on things and she's like in the backseat of the car, just freaking vibing.
Louis
and I'm
as
like,
well.
Yeah, you're my girl. Yeah.
Louis
and
does the
Lila's
fist
like,
bump.
Mom, I don't like it. We were listening to 1989 on the way to school today, and I turned up the volume really loud on Out of the Woods, and I was like belting it, and Lila was like,
Oh,
Stop!
Yeah,
Stop!
Yeah.
Okay, well then I'm just gonna go clockwise in the pictures on the screen, which is you, Gracie.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm going to pick one that might already be picked by someone else. So I'm just going to put it in before someone else does, which is Golden from the Demon Hunters soundtrack.
Yes.
Good. You took it.
Yes.
You took it from me. Thank you.
So my top 5 was based on this year of what was like getting me excited. And it's not necessarily a Zwift playlist, but I was trying to pick stuff that was like 2025 vibes. So that's definitely on there because I remember, Demon Hunters has come up a couple times on this podcast, and I think I mentioned that I caught Kimberly watching it one day and I was like, what the F are you watching? And then I finally watched it and I was like, this is so good.
I know, right?
And that's a great
I watched
song.
it 3
It's
times.
so good. Oh man, it's so good. My treadmill has a screen, and I watch it when I run.
I love that.
Yeah, because I can only watch Netflix on said screen. And so I just watched that movie. Georgia, you're next.
Okay. So mine's a slightly different vibe, but one always gets me going is Sabotage by the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, can't.
Yeah.
The Beastie Boys
This is
is
going to be
good.
such an eclectic mix.
Yeah, Beastie
Yeah,
Boys
That's
is just
great.
yeah.
It's going to be unhinged.
Yeah, I told you it was going to be unhinged, and just you wait. I got some more shit coming.
Who's actually
Excellent.
going to listen to this playlist? I wonder.
I will. I will listen to this playlist. It will give me a lot of joy. Okay, mine is like the one that was, it's stuck in my head because, and every time I hear the song now, I think of the Inspired Unemployed. But I love their content, and No Broke Boys is my kid's favorite song at the moment. I'm not kidding.
What is that song?
Did they actually make that song, or did they cover
They
it?
made that song, I
Oh, wow.
reckon. No?
I don't even know what that song is.
Probably. They're pretty talented.
I'm going to send you the Instagram video that blew up that song. And if you read the comments, so many people now, whenever they think of this song, it's such a good song. It's really, if you're into my kind of trashy techno. Wait, hold on. You guys know what No Broke Boys is, right? Everyone know? Does anyone know the song?
I think I've seen the Instagram, like an Instagram snippet of it.
Dear Lord.
I think I've missed this. I know who you're talking about, but I don't think
How could you not?
I've
This
seen
is
the
like
song.
a banger in the clubs. I'm not in the clubs,
Oh
but I know
my
it is.
God. A banger in the clubs. All right. Well, my second song also has the word boys in it. And so one of my favorite albums of all time, but I went with The Boys Are Back in Town with
yeah,
Lizzy.
classic.
Gracie.
So I'll stay on the club vibes. It's had a bit of a comeback, this song, because it was used on a TV show called Your Friends and Neighbors. I might have even mentioned that on a pod a while back. And it's gone viral because people have used the clip from the show in cutting it into memes on TikTok and Instagram. So it's John Hamm dancing in the club and he's just got his eyes closed. And it's just really funny. And the way people have clipped it up is just really funny. It's usually like me as a mum not being able to go to bed past 9 p.m. and then it's like the clip is like me at 21 not coming home for 3 days or something. Anyway, I'm not doing it justice. Go and look it up. But the song is Turn the Lights Off by Kato featuring John. So yeah, that was a good one.
Great tune.
I need that moment. I need my club moment. I need my mum that hasn't been out in years. I need to be John Hamm.
This is the No Broke Boys song.
Oh
man.
my God.
Um,
Imagine when we all like get together finally without kids. Just the chaos that we'll ensue.
Yeah.
oh, it's gonna be
And then we'll
fun.
just go sleep.
And then we'll go to sleep.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
And wake up not at 6 a.m. or 4:30 if you're my daughter. Okay, Georgie. Go
I'm
for
just trying to. I'm scrolling through my Spotify as I talk to you guys, but one that I've been really getting into, and I just belt, "'Cause I'm a Man" by Tame Impala.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, love Tame Impala. Every song's
So
good.
good, so good.
A little bit different to No Broke Boys. Blame Brett by The Beaches.
Oh,
Oh,
I
great
love
song.
the Beatles.
Oh, I love
Great
the
song.
beaches.
They would
Yep.
be so good
Yep.
to see
They're
live.
actually going to be in Antwerp in February.
They're going to
but
be
the
in
tickets sold
Australia
out.
in March.
I know, I
G-Flip.
saw.
What a combo.
That's a good one.
I know. I need to get tickets.
All right, my song number 3, Dynamite by BTS.
Oh yeah.
It's good vibes.
That is
Also,
a good...
the live performance that I think was, I can't remember if it was on like a late night show or if it was an award show. They did a live performance of it and it was like, oh man, it was so good. So good. They're coming back, BTS. They're coming back. 2026. Bring it.
My next one's for you, Abby. I had to pick a Taylor Swift song, obviously. It was hard to pick, despite some of my criticisms for her latest album. It definitely was super catchy. So it was hard to pick the one that got stuck in my head the most. But I think one of the most fun ones was Wood. So I'll put that one in.
Yeah. That one is like, I listened back to her podcast episode with the Kelsey brothers, and she said like so infectious. She said the songs on that album were so infectious that you would be mad. And like I am a little bit mad that Wood is as catchy as it is, because I don't want a song stuck in my head to be about someone's, nether regions.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
But it's a really, really fun song.
Yeah.
Georgie?
Loaded by Primal Scream.
God, the range of this list is just
My
amazing.
my next one is also just going to boom.
Okay,
Bomb.
go, Lauren.
In a good way
This
or
is what I
bad
mean
way?
about how unhinged my music taste is. This song is like 20 years old now.
I should have known that you would be the one who would just throw this this game into just like total chaos.
I warned you. I said I can do podcast episodes. Anyway, Welcome Home, Coheed and Cambria.
Never heard it.
Oh.
It was before Georgie was born.
Yeah. I wonder that surely there'll
We've
be
killed
some
Abby. She's
fans
dead.
on here.
This podcast needs a host. Don't go.
All right. Well, predictably, because I'm the most basic, my next song is "Put It All on Me," Ed Sheeran. It's from his collection number 6 collaboration album, which is like, I think, one of his best albums he ever made. Very underrated album. Because he does so much writing for like other artists that people don't know about. That like, yeah, he knows a lot of good artists, and that whole album is really good. So highly recommend. But Put It All on Me is one of my favorites. Gracie?
My next one would be another club banger, and this is one I've shared with Georgie earlier this year. It's called Crush by Yellow Claw, and I found it off
Oh, yeah.
it's like trap house probably genre, I would say. It's just a good club hit. It's not poppy, but it's like it makes you want to dance. It's a bit dirty. But yeah, I got it off the Baby Girl soundtrack. So getting music off movie soundtracks is one of my favorite ways to find good music, because I love the artistry that goes into movie making, and part of that is a good soundtrack. And when you watch a really good movie or a TV show and it has a killer soundtrack, it just makes it so much better. And yeah, this song definitely got in my ear.
You must have an appreciation for Bill Lawrence shows then, like Ted Lasso, Scrubs.
Oh my God, I just
Shrinking?
finished Ted Lasso. I get it
their
now.
soundtracks,
Yeah.
their soundtracks are next level.
Yeah.
The
You can just
soundtracks
tell
that
that
they pick for those shows.
Yeah, really care. It's so intentional.
That song soundtracked my last 3-minute effort on the bike
Nice.
that I did.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, it's
Well,
a good, like,
kind of.
proper hard effort song. So save that for, yeah, like
Oh, this was a proper hard.
a 2 to 3 minute burn.
Yeah. I'm a bit conflicted for this next one, because I feel like I can only do one of this type of vibe of song, and I could go one of two ways. But
Well, I have 2 honorable mentions.
okay,
so...
Well, then
She's
in this
pushing the
case,
rules.
I will go with. In this case, I'm going to go with "Beautiful People" by Marilyn Manson.
Oh yeah, my dad loves a bit of Marilyn Manson on the old turbo trainer.
That's the best compliment I've ever received. Gracie, that was such a burn, and you did it so well.
True though.
That's why she's laughing so hard, because it is true.
If he listens to like 2 things. Oh, I'm crying.
Great track though, absolutely slaps.
It is good. It's very good.
Lauren?
A little bit more 2025. Car by Royal Otis.
Nice.
I love this. I love this playlist.
It's how you're going to structure it. This is the thing. Like, if you do it just how we've gone through it now, will be like, I don't know how you structure that with your efforts. Maybe one of those like the Zwift sessions where it's just like blue, green, red, yellow, orange all over the place.
You know what we need is it's the members. We need the members to do this, because they're like way smarter than us a lot of the time. So they can be in charge. I'm sure somebody in our one person who's listening to this podcast has in their head how they would structure this playlist for a Zwift workout. Fifth pick, final round. Although, as I mentioned, I've stretched the rules and I do have 2 honorable mentions. One of them's for my husband, though, who I asked what he would pick, and so I have to throw in his number 1. My final pick is Old Fashioned by Frightened Rabbit.
My last pick would be for your cool down. You just want to chill out. And this is an ode to our other bestie, Taylor Wiles. And this is from the Brandi Carlile latest album, Returning to Myself. And it's the title track, Returning to Myself. The whole album is just stunning. It's just so good. Every song is quite unique, but yeah, she's really honed her craft on this one. And the first song is just really nice, and you're returning to yourself after some hard efforts.
Well, I mean, you're still kind of mid-effort in mine. Like you just want to find a good rhythm. You can bob your head a bit, just a bit of really feel yourself. Hard Times by Paramore.
I love that song.
Paramore. I have my
I
Paramore
love that
era.
song.
Such
I
a good
love
song.
Paramore.
I remember listening to, which album was it? 2007? Would it have been? Every time I closed up shop at my retail job, I would put on. What album was that? I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, good pick, Georgie. That is a really good pick.
Thank you. You know, I appreciate the praise after the burn last round.
Was it a burn?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
my dad listens to that, loves it.
Yeah, but he's a cool dad.
Okay, Lauren.
Yeah, it's cool, Dad.
He's not like the other dads.
Final. My dad is definitely not cool. My dad would not listen to the song, I don't think. My final song is a Taylor Swift song, and I listen to it quite often on Zwift. And when I'm just mad at the world, The Man
That's the song that made me quit cycling.
gets me all riled up.
Jeez, this comes a package.
It always does. Well, does anyone else have honorable mentions? Because I don't have to.
I mean, I want to give one,
Okay.
or just because like I listen to them so much when I work out hard. Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Okay.
That'd probably get into most people's workout playlists one way or another. That's a good one. I think Lauren and I didn't quite get the memo of why we were choosing these songs. So I would definitely put more
There was no
dance
memo.
music in. I would probably put a lot of Fred again in my playlist because that
Yeah,
would get me
me
going,
too.
I think.
Yeah. And for me as well, Keeping Your Head Up by Birdie. I don't know. That always slots in to my playlists, whatever I'm doing. It was sort of my song of 2023 when I was like just keeping my head above water.
Well, my honorable mention goes to my husband, who it will say a lot about his personality that this is the only song that he asked that I include, and that's Downtown by Macklemore.
Ew.
He's more basic than you, Abby.
What song did I catch Hannes listening to in the shower the other day?
Tom's loves Macklemore. It's because he's funny.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does he
Georgie.
sing Thrift Shop as well? He
Be
would be
nice.
so cute singing that song with the little puffy
I'm
jacket
just
on.
picturing him in that fur coat.
Just vibing down. He did want us to, like, he wanted our first dance to be the, I can't remember which song it is, but it's like the Pride song. And
From
Tom's
Macklemore?
wanted it to be yeah, and I was like, that can't be our first dance. We don't fit in that category.
He wanted you to do your first dance to Macklemore.
Look at Georgie's face.
Why?
It's a deal breaker for Georgie.
Oh my god. Same love. He wanted that to be our first dance.
Lovely. I love the sentiment, but Tom's.
It is sweet.
I-
That's really sweet.
No, it's because he wants to be a stand-up comedian when he retires from cycling. He loves some comedic value. Macklemore has some very funny songs. I get it.
Has Tom's heard of Weird Al Yankovic?
That was Macklemore. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, Hannes is in his Phil Collins era at the moment.
Oh
man. Wow.
so sweet.
I walked into the shower the other day and it was like Easy Lover was like blasting out of his phone. And I'm like, are you listening to Phil Collins? Is this your Spotify playlist at the moment? What does your algorithm look like? And then I made the reference that I got introduced to Phil Collins through my first boyfriend, and he was like, wow, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
And
yeah.
not Tarzan?
You'll be... No, he wasn't listening to that.
Guys.
All right. Well, hopefully everyone enjoys our Wheel Talk playlist.
I mean, if you got this far...
Yeah, I mean, I can safely say that Kimbers, if you guys are going through your significant other's music taste, I think Kimbers is pretty good.
I think she'd probably win in a battle of the significant others in terms of music taste.
She's pretty good, I have to say. We share a Spotify, so I looked at the rap today and none of it was from me. So she's really just stacked that.
Great.
And it was pretty good.
Well, I have a fun prompt for the Discord members who are listening to this. I want the Discord to come up with theme songs for riders. So I want you to pick your riders and assign them a theme song. That's my prompt for the Discord Wheel Talk crew. I think everybody there will have a really fun time with that prompt. And so I wanted to assign that to them in the weeks that we will not have a podcast, because as you're listening to this is our final episode of 2025, but we will also be taking a little bit of a break over the new year, and we will be back second week of January 13th. We'll be back January 13th to talk about TDU.
Good Lord.
3 of us will be down under.
Woohoo.
Yeah, that'll be really exciting. All right. Well, I just want to thank everybody for listening to this podcast all year long. It's, yeah, I mean, I've said it before, but I still can't believe that this little podcast that I created in like 2017 is still kicking. And thank you so much to you 3 for making this one of the most memorable years to cover women's cycling that I've ever experienced.
Thank you, Abby. Moving into year 9.
We all still love cycling, but this is definitely one of the highlights of my week, is just chatting about it with you guys. And I know that the audience has also really made it special for us too. So thank you to everyone who listens and makes comments and uses the Discord. I haven't used it enough, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, no, it's just an awesome community.
Yeah, there's fans all over the world. So very grateful for them. And grateful for you, Abby.
And for those who shared their Spotify Wrapped and the podcast being their number 1.
Yeah.
Pew, pew, pew.
I don't know how anyone could listen to us talk for that long, but more power to them. That's it for us for 2025. We'll be back in the new year to talk about women's professional road cycling.
This episode was produced, edited, and mixed by Will Jones at Red Bricks Media.